Welcome to Bucket List Careers, the podcast. I'm Krista Laurie. Thanks for joining. This is episode 151. We're collaborating again today with LMC Media for an in-person, in-studio recording with my guest, integrative health coach Jennifer Mullen. Jennifer, thanks for coming in.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
I know it was easy for you just coming to Mamaroneck from Larchmont. We're neighbors, and I love to have these conversations in person about your pivot to purpose. So what you're doing now, you say, is your bucket list career gig. You were in education. You most recently worked for a clean crafted wine company. But this is what's really fueling you. Tell me why.
Okay, so transitioning to a health coaching career really blended my passions and my experiences. I loved working in education, but helping individuals improve their health was just really incredibly fulfilling. It's really just about empowering others to make their lives better. And now my wine business, it might sound so silly that a career in wine would lead you to health coaching, but really what that did for me was it kind of revealed that I had this entrepreneurial side to me, and it also boosted my confidence. For those of the audience that do not know about Scout and Cellar, it's a clean crafted wine company, and that alone also it started to make me more aware of ingredients and additives in food and in our drinks that we were drinking. And I just got more curious about it. So when I was speaking to clients and customers for Scout and Cellar, I would use my education. I would go back to the roots and I would teach them about the clean crafted difference. So honestly, it really came back to loving stuff in health and wellness, loving my career in education, but then really becoming more curious about, what's in our food, what's going on. And I was like, I loved being sort of like a wellness educator, I guess.
No, I get that. And we like to dig into also your evolution, your path to coaching. So let's rewind a little bit, talk about before children, you were a special education teacher. I think it was fourth grade. And then you had your first child in 2019, I think. And of course, you were looking for flexibility there, but walk us through it a little bit.
Okay.
And if there were any pivotal moments in terms of your transitions, we'd love for you to share them.
Certainly. So Scout and Cellar, I started with Scout and Cellar. I started with my career in special education, where I really developed a strong foundation of understanding people's individual needs and helping, children and foster growth. Later on, when I was doing Scout and Cellar and still doing Scout and Cellar, it was more about understanding the value of quality and clean ingredients. In my own personal life at home, while I always felt like I had a really good grasp on health, I always felt like I could do better. And I also, I have a daughter who has ADHD, who struggles with that. And I really started to see how food impacted her behavior.
Really? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so she just certain ingredients, certain foods, and I would just see changes in her. So for myself, I started to make small changes in my pantry. I started to shop better and really look at ingredients and learn more about ingredients. And I started to change what I bought in my own home. I started to teach my children. And I also just, again, it was baby steps. It didn't happen overnight, but I would offer more whole food snacks and I was cooking way more. And that was just personally my home. But I think when you ask about a pivotal moment, it really, I think, boils down to my mom, who had a major health scare and crisis a couple of years ago.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. She's doing great. She's still dealing with stuff. But when I think back, I guess, about her life and her lifestyle, I was like, there's so many little changes that she could have been making if she had someone guiding her. Yeah. So it kind of led me to want to help others. And I'm like, you can make lifestyle changes that will impact you. And it inspired me I kept on seeing this program come up through the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. And I was sort of inspired to learn more for myself, but then also think that I can, again, be this wellness educator and help others make lifestyle changes. So I decided to go through the certification program, become a health coach, and it's been great so far. Yeah, so that's where I am.
About the coaching programs that people choose. How did you come across that one? Why was it the right fit?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I honestly, through social media.
Yeah.
So it was like the
power of social media.
The power
People
of social
so
media.
often criticize it, but you really do
Yeah.
sometimes have some benefits that are undeniable.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was the stuff I was searching. I was looking at stuff, and I was coming across programs, seeing a lot of the doctors that were the teachers, Dr. Mark Hyman, many doctors that people know, and I was following them. So I think I got targeted probably a little bit, but
all of a sudden your feed was all about coaching
it was
programs.
like, join this program.
And how long was it?
So I wound up, you can either do a 6-month program or a 12-month program. I did a 6-month accelerated program. And it was a lot of work, but it was incredible and definitely a life-changing, like transformative program that I went through. Not only just for me as being able to take this into a career, but also what I could teach my family. So
Well, now you're an entrepreneur. I'd like to hear more about your approach. It's the Simply Living Way. So describe that for us and expand on your mission and what you hope to do differently. Because there are a lot of coaches out there, to be fair. It's a saturated area. But what do you really feel like you want to contribute with the Simply Living Way?
So on Instagram, my name is Simply Living Life. So
that's right. I knew it was familiar. Because I've been following you for a while. And I felt like you were very comfortable. You know, maybe even an influencer. I feel like you have a great voice. And so tell me about Simply Living.
That was when I was trying to come up with my program and what I wanted to have a name. So it just made sense. I'm like, the Simply Living Way. And I want to teach people kind of like the strategies and kind of my journey and what I went through. And really what it focuses on is making health simple and attainable. It's about finding balance and joy, and it's about really teaching my clients that they can understand their bodies and make sustainable life choices, lifestyle choices that will really impact them.
What are some of the more transformative situations that you've come across so far with a client, or even just a client story that you're particularly proud of?
So I think I have a lot of clients who I think come to me and they're just accepting of, like, say, weight gain or fatigue or just any little signs that they have going on as I'm just getting older. But really what I try to teach my clients is that these are signs to really make you become more curious about what is going on in your body. And so I teach clients that, we need to take stock of your current habits and really learn how we can make them better and make your choices better. We can see what's working, see what's not working. And also, my current clients that I've been working with, I'll think back to like my group coaching, because that was what I just recently came off of.
Okay.
They learned how to take what they learned in this course and bring it to their families too. So it was like a ripple effect down to their children, which is also my goal when I'm teaching and working with clients, that this is for you, but also it's going to radiate outwards, whatever you learn, and it will be able to, teach your children, and they'll, take these lifestyle habits with them as well.
Totally. And the power of group coaching, let's talk about that, because I have had some coaches on the podcast who are able to give advice also on career pivots. Like I had Dara Astman, you know her, she's wonderful. And she has group coaching for different types of moms who are coming out of a career pause, or maybe those who are trying to pivot within their industry who've never gotten off the track. And she says the group coaching is so powerful. So tell me why.
Okay, so I think I prefer group coaching over one-on-one. There's just something about it, and being in a community and feeling like you can relate to one another, and you're going through the same types of challenges, but you're also in a way helping one another along the way. So I'm helping coach, but the individuals in the program are helping each other, where it's a community, where, keeping each other accountable. We keep like a text messaging chain, and we're talking back and forth, and we're making sure that we're hitting our goals and doing stuff like that. So the power of group coaching is, I think, like it's like going to a group fitness class. It's so much more fun.
That's true. That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
You could see me doing this. I also think when you're doing it, is it remote, the group coaching?
So
it's easy for everyone to fit into their schedule?
So we wound up doing this one half and half.
Okay.
And it was, I think, coming off of like, even though COVID was a while ago now, but people are sort of sick of Zoom, but it is definitely easier and it's more flexible. But the people knew that there was going to be 3 in-coaching options. And they loved it. They loved being in person. We would like sit on the floor and like just being able to get everybody's body signals. And it was really awesome being in person. And then we would record it as well. So, there might have been a person or two that couldn't make that group session. The whole session was recorded, but the best was definitely the in-person. However, we'll continue to play around with it in the future because it will still be a program that we're going to continue to offer. I can tell you more about that at the end.
I'd love to know more.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it's thriving.
Yeah.
It is a new business, somewhat in its infancy. You did tell me that in terms of obstacles, you felt this imposter syndrome, which is so common.
Yeah.
I hear it all the time with people starting out as entrepreneurs. How did that manifest itself for you? And then how did you navigate past it?
So imposter syndrome, I think everybody faces it, right? And especially when you're going into a new field.
Yes.
Like, do I know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Am I the expert?
Will people buy it? Totally.
So, I think I just started to, realize that I had a unique perspective and that I did have value. I had value, and I also had so much support from friends and family, and that just gives you confidence in itself. So I think just understanding that you have value to bring and that, you have a unique perspective. And even though you might be seeing multiple people in your industry talk about the same thing and you're like, how am I going to stand out? Everyone has something unique that they're going to bring to the table. So I would just tell myself that and know that I think that I am helping people and I'm bringing value to their lives. So, and again, the support of like the community. So,
right. And that's how you're building your runway. You did mention that working for Scout and Cellar.
Yes.
As what is it, a wine ambassador? Was that the title?
Yeah.
That helped you gain confidence. So you were able to transfer skills to some extent.
Yeah.
To become an entrepreneur.
Yeah, definitely. That was like my first intro into like social media and like putting myself out there. And I would always be like, oh my gosh, my friends probably think I'm crazy.
Okay, I completely get that. Right? You don't want to be too much, but then you also want to get your message across, and there's a delicate balance there.
But again, getting back to my roots of like education, I always felt that because I did it with purpose, and when I was talking about Scout and Cellar, it was with passion and again with purpose. Yeah. I love their values, I love their mission, and I felt like I could talk about that, and I could feel confident talking about that. And so as long as
for listeners, that's a low sugar.
It's no pesticides are used in the vineyards. We work with small farms around the world. Okay. And I got to visit one of the farms there.
Really?
Yeah, we were.
They're based in California.
Mm-hmm. So they're actually they're all around the world. The farmers that we work with, but I did visit a vineyard out in California, and it was an amazing experience. And just being like boots on the ground and seeing how much they care for like the soil health and teaching about how they care for their crops and what they're doing to make the planet better. To be honest, it was great experience. But so it's. No pesticides. They don't add any additives into their wine. It's kind of like better than organic or biodynamic, they say. Yeah. But it's a really nice company.
Yeah, well, that clearly aligns with what you're doing now. So tell me what you would give in terms of advice for people who are interested in making a change and just not able to pull the trigger for some reason. Takeaways that are based on your journey for finding your purpose professionally.
Okay, yep. So absolutely. And I think embrace change, right? Mm-hmm. And even if something happens in your life that just seems totally unrelated, like a wine business.
Right. Were you worried that there wasn't continuity there?
No, I don't know. But just things happen in your life, right? And everything's part of your journey. So for me, it seems unrelated, but really it gave me, again, this like entrepreneurial boost and this like confidence boost. So it really is a part of my journey to where I am. Yeah. So just, stay curious, be open to change, be like looking out for those little unrelated things that might come across it all comes together at the end. And just make sure you're supporting yourself, surrounding yourself by people who support your vision and encourage you, because when you're around people that don't, that's
Oh, yeah.
Those aren't the type of people that you want to be around.
No
Yeah.
toxic people
No,
allowed.
no.
It's okay to cut
Yeah.
those out, especially when you're going through like a metamorphosis like this. Did you actually go to a career coach to help make this pivot?
No, I didn't.
No. Okay.
No, this is, again, I sort of just like all part of my evolution. It's like just sort of happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you sound a little bit like me. Like you're always trying, always striving to
Yeah.
learn. You're a lifelong learner. You're obviously education focused, and evolving towards like I think in a way the truest version of yourself.
Yeah.
Does that resonate with you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. So tell us where we can send our listeners
Okay.
online to learn more about you. Did you launch your website yet? Because I know you were working on it.
When is this podcast airing?
a couple weeks.
Yes.
So we still will be in
Yes.
July, possibly August. Yes.
It's basically like in the final stages. But yeah, so on Instagram, you could find me. It's at simply.livinglife.
Right.
I share lots of health tips there and recipe inspiration and just a whole lot of lifestyle and health and wellness stuff.
Yeah.
And then also you can find me if you're a local resident. I, again, launched this group coaching program with a fellow health coach. Some people might know her. Her name is Carrie Feinberg.
Oh, yeah, of course.
She's
Love Carrie. Is she also an instructor
Yep.
as a Pilates or
she's
what does she do?
She's an instructor. She does the
Studio 50?
The Studio
right?
50 classes.
Yeah.
So together, we both
Love her.
created this program. It's called Revive and Thrive.
Okay, tell me about that.
Yeah, so it's a 6-week group coaching program.
Mm-hmm.
Our first launch was this past spring, and we had an amazing experience.
Nice. How many people were in it?
So we had 10 people, and that was our cap.
Great.
So we wanted it to be like, just a personal, again, good community. We wanted good feedback, and we wanted everyone to get something out of it. So we will be launching this again through Studio 50. You will be able to find it on their website. Group coaching will start there in the fall. You'll start to hear when it's going to start. But
So nutrition and fitness
so
combined.
it's really like Revive and Thrive is really like a foundational course where people are going to, again, learn about lifestyle habits. They're going to get a good basis on nutrition and macros. They're also going to learn about the fundamentals and importance of strength training. A lot of my programs really are based off of women who are more my age, right? So I would say mid-30s and older. That's really my focus, and that's the focus of also the Revive and Thrive. But we have also another part of the Revive and Thrive is a pantry makeover. We do an in-home pantry makeover, which has become one of my services that I offer to clients. I've been doing a ton of those, and they're really fun. And the reason why I started to do those was because it's sort of where I started. I
Right.
started by revamping my pantry, and I wanted to help other people do that. I think people want to learn more. They want to feed their kids better. They want to learn more about ingredients. So I offer that as one of my services, but it's part of our group coaching program. So that's one of the weeks is the pantry makeover, and that was actually one of the most fun weeks.
It sounds it.
Yeah, so Revive and Thrive, that will start in the fall again, 6-week group coaching. And then, of course, there's I do a lot of one-on-one coaching with clients, and my website, which is www.thesimplylivingway.com.
There it is. I was just about to ask you to give me your email, but
Yes.
the website is even better. All right, Jennifer Mullen, thank you so much
Thank
for
you
sharing
so
your
much for
journey with us.
having
It was a lot of fun, and I'm definitely interested in the program. So
Thank you so much for having me.
thanks for coming on Bucket List Careers. And thank you for joining me. I'm Krista Laurie. Be sure to follow us on social media at Bucket List Careers on all the platforms. You can DM me. You can send me guest ideas. Email me, Krista@bucketlistcareerspodcast.com. New episodes always on Thursdays. Until then, be well.